Hello folks, this is attorney Carlos Garcia from Garcia Law Firm in Tijuana, and today I'm going to try to explain you in a clear and simple way what to do in case you feel that you have been a victim of any medical malpractice. Now, I always provide my clients with a certain amount of tips that they need to follow before requesting any medical services in Tijuana and even in all Mexico. If you want to know more about this, I will leave the link on the description in this video below. And yeah, the first thing we need to know is that before doing any legal move regarding this problem, or if we feel we have any problem with the job we requested from this doctor we are about to blame, we need to make sure that it is a real medical malpractice. The reason why is because we are not experts on the medicine field. Not me, not even you, usually, or our friends, usually, obviously. That is the reason why we need to take an opinion from an expert in the medicine field. Now, if we already know, or if we are sure 100% that this is, or we are facing a medical malpractice issue, we are gonna need to get with this expert in the area we are considering that we have victimized. Let's just say, the typical example, I went to this doctor trying to fix an issue on my nose, and then I have this feeling that my nose is loose, or I don't know, I feel that it wasn't done properly. Then I go to this doctor, and the doctor says, yes, it was a wrongdoing. If I want to proceed legally against this other doctor, I'm gonna request to this doctor I'm seeing now a document specifying why does he think that the other doctor did a bad job. So he's going to start doing his writing this document specifying step by step why does he think it was a wrongdoing, and he has to sign this document specifying he's an expert in the area and that he is willing to ratify this document in front of any authority. Now, we need to explain or clarify that this doctor has to be a Mexican doctor. The reason why is because everything has to be said and done in Spanish. And this doctor eventually will have to come to the DA and then maybe with the judge to ratify the document he created. Why? Because the DA and or the judge, they are not familiar with the case, and they are not gonna believe just because we are submitting any document that it was written or done by a professional. So the professional has to come and with his credentials say, yes, I created this document, and yes, what is written in this document is true. So yeah, let's continue with my explanation. Once we have this document from the doctor, we are going to create, as an attorneys, we are going to create this document explaining the whole story and how all the events took place, and then we are going to add the doctor's document and also all these receipts of payment that you did to the medical institution and or the doctor. And we are going to need also some witnesses that are going to certify you're saying about the matter. Now, once we are submitting this document to the DA is going to call you to ratify what you're saying, and maybe he's going to ask several questions about all the events that happened, and then he's going to call our witnesses, and he's going to call, like I said before, to the doctor to ratify this document we are submitting. Later on, when the DA thinks that it is time to do so, he's gonna call the doctor that we are accusing to see what he has to say about the matter. And if the case is needed, then the DA is going to proceed and send this document, all these files, all this case, to a judge to determine the resolution of the situation. Sometimes, and I'm going to clarify, sometimes and typically, all the doctors, they don't want to get involved in any legal issues. That is the reason why sometimes they try to fix everything at the DA. I'm not saying that must happen or that always happen. Please do not get me wrong. I want to be clear about this. And this video is like, in general, it doesn't mean that everything has to happen as the exact way I'm saying. Sometimes things may vary. Now, something that many people believes and is very mistaken believing is that the Mexican laws and the processes are going to be the same as, for example, United States. We have a massive amount of visitors from United States coming to Tijuana in searching for any medical services. And sometimes they believe that the laws are the same or apply in the same way as in United States. And same, like I said on my other video, that's not correct, that's not accurate. In Mexico, like any other country, laws are different. And you need to understand this before doing anything, because sometimes you could be expecting something to receive something that you are not going to receive. For example, a lot of Americans, they come and say, hey, okay, attorney, I think I have been a victim of medical malpractice, so yeah, I want to have this doctor in jail, number one, and I want to have a medical my medical issue to be fixed, and I also I want the doctor to pay for all the days I have lost in my job because I couldn't go to work because of the consequence of this wrongdoing, and I also want him to pay me some compensation as a result of pain and suffering. That's typical. And then I have to say, no, my friends, all these things are not going to happen. Why? Because in Mexico we don't have this pain and suffering, and the doctor will not be obligated to pay for all those days you did not go to work. So yeah. It's not that's different regarding the Mexican laws and the American laws. So yeah, you need to be aware of that. So the doctor is only obligated to give you or to compensate for his wrongdoings. Let's just say he can offer you eventually to fix the problem. Let's just say, going back to my example, the job I requested from him, it was not done properly, and he just needs to fix a little bit the issue, and that will be it. He will be allowed to offer to compensate and fix these wrongdoings. Or maybe we can select a different doctor which is going to fix all these wrongdoings, and the doctor will pay these other doctor's fees. That's possible, that's reasonable according to Mexican laws. But other than that, it doesn't work in the ways I already explained it. And something you need to be aware also, because that's a very common question also, is that if you're gonna use the services, not even, I'm not saying my services only, but any attorney's services in Mexico, you will have to pay for attorney's fees. What I mean is, a lot of Americans also are looking for any attorney, and they are saying, hey, okay, I have this medical issue, so attorney, this is my case, go and work on, if you recover anything, you're gonna collect your fee from the recovering. That doesn't work also like in Mexico. It is not the way to make the attorneys work. The reason why is because the laws and all the Mexican process is not created that way. So yeah, if you're gonna be searching for some attorneys to help you on this case, you will have to pay for attorney's fees, and if they can recover something, it will be yours. But usually, what I can say is doctors are willing, usually they are willing to pay or to make an arrangement to try to avoid any consequences. That's the usual thing that happens. On the other hand, yeah, I can only say that you need to be aware also that there are some cheap attorneys, or even people who they are not attorneys, who are trying to take advantage of the situation, and they say, oh, okay, it's okay, I'll take your case, you just pay me for the expenses, and then we will fix or my fee depending on the outcome results, which is also I strongly recommend you not to file for these wonderful offers or American way offers, because they sometimes they don't do anything, they just take the money and bye-bye. And if you are already in trouble, you're going to find yourself in more trouble, so be careful there. Try always to, if you're going to search for anything in Mexico, and I think this is not exclusive from Mexico, I mean, that's very common everywhere. You always try to find the best professionals depending on the service you are requiring. Do not fall for these cheap offers or some offers that they don't make sense with the common situation you're facing, or the common case, the common prices. Do not fall for it. Yeah, we have very good professionals. Let's call it medicals, let's call it attorneys, let's call it dentists also. Please try to go with a decent professional. And so yeah, that will be my recommendations in this kind of cases. I hope this video finds you well, and if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And if you like this video or you think this video can help anybody else, you can I strongly recommend you to share this video with these other people, so they can have a glimpse on how these things works in Mexico. So yeah, that will be it for me. Please take care, stay safe, and if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.